Hey, girl. Oh, you look beautiful.
Thanks. So do you, my queen. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just telling you, it's been a jam-packed day. Hey, my gosh. I just want to scream. I feel a bit emotional.
You've had a big day, my girl. I'm so happy for you. Killed it.
Oh, thank you for tuning in as well. Yeah, it was a big proud moment. I'm really proud of myself.
So you should be.
Oh, I feel like I'm getting hugged by you all right now. Oh, thank you. Honestly, I mean, it meant the world to me to even be asked to be on Flex FM, like to be on a radio station and interviewed about my coaching. It's like a dream come true, you know what I mean? It was just so much fun as well. It really was. And thank you for locking in, Shannon. I know you was there, my girl. I know you was checking in on me. But how are you all? You all feeling good? Oh, Bill!
Say hello.
I need to wait. Go on, I'm gonna wait.
So proud of you today. I was smiling as soon as I heard your voice. I had a big smile on my face. I was thinking, you got to do what you got to do. I was so happy for you. I was like, yes.
Oh, I love you, Queen. Thank you so much for being there. I felt so held and supported as well. It was just so beautiful to know that my soul family was listening and checking in. Like, oh, honestly, I love you. Hey, Bill.
Say hello.
Hi. He's so cute.
He's been meditating.
Just meditating as well.
The children today, they've all been meditating. Hello. My daughter says, I can feel that in my hands. I was like, that's the energy, darling.
Mom,
Yes,
can I have the big covers over there?
Yeah, go on, go cuddle up the man.
So beautiful. Oh, look at Ludo.
Little Papa, too cute.
Oh, baby.
He's next level. I can't even.
I love him.
Such a
He's the
dude.
most beautiful cat I've ever seen. I've never seen a cat look like that before.
I know, he's weird, isn't he?
I love
You're my little weirdo.
So beautiful little weirdo. Look at his little face.
He's not like a cat at all. Are you? Like, whatever. Whatever, Mum.
Oh, how are you, beautiful?
I'm good. Yeah. Life just seems to get more exciting by the day, honestly. Like, things just keep coming and unfolding, and it's like more and more fun stuff. It's like my calendar is so full of fun. It's great. I love it. Yeah. And I've gone ginge. Look how ginge I am.
I was gonna say the hair is looking mad fun, girl. I love
got
it.
it done
It suits you so
yesterday.
much.
Yeah, I got it done yesterday. Like super orange, but I love it.
Yeah, love it.
Hi,
Loving
Reese.
I'm loving you girls rocking the beads all the time. I love what you've done.
Oh, I never take them off.
Really.
Honestly, I cannot be without them. If I leave the house without them, I feel like a different person. I feel like even with the Larimar, I've never actually experienced Larimar before. And I said this to you, didn't I? I've got such a deep connection with Moonstone.
Yeah.
But I was so excited to see how Larimar affected me, or what the energy that I got from them. Honestly, the songs that I've wrote, the poems that I've come up with, just the throat chakra in general, even the songs that I've been singing alongside on the radio, is so powerful. So thank you. You're such a queen. I'm so grateful.
Every one that I make, I put like mantras in and I sing to them. So yeah, all that intention is already put into them. So yes, and that was one of my favourite ones too. I love that one. They're my two favourite stones.
Yeah, my fave as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
I had mine on today.
I saw.
I had mine on. I mean, I don't take it off for the freedom protest as well. I had it on.
Yeah.
my first, when I first was doing the children's parties as Moana, I actually was using that as the heart of Te Fiti. I was like, this is the heart of Te Fiti. Like,
I love it.
I mean,
Brilliant.
it works. They actually work. They're so powerful. They're
Yeah,
really
they
helping me open up my throat chakra and learn how to express myself. Like, even
Amazing.
when I'm not feeling 100% positive.
It's like pure protection, because it
Absolutely.
literally is like right down here, like guarding you. Yeah. Yay.
Thank you, Queen. You've been feeling good though.
Yeah. Yeah. Think so.
Yeah.
I'm so forgetful. So forgetful about things, you know? Like, yeah, think so. Yeah, think everything's all right.
Oh, well, we've got a really, really fun topic of conversation today, which is pretty much our core values. Freedom!
Oh, I should have got the megaphone, man. I forgot the megaphone in the car.
I mean, I was walking around all day going, love, peace, and freedom!
Love it.
I mean, it's such a beautiful topic as well, and it means such different things to everyone because everyone's idea of freedom is completely different. I'm really, really excited to have this open conversation, so we might as well kick off, Queens. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Charley Grech. I am 27 years young. I am a life coach, spiritual advisor, DJ, and children's entertainer. And I'm so grateful just to be able to hold space for people and just have these real conversations. I think it's so important for us to really do the real talk right now, because there's so many shifts happening within the collective, within the world, within the way that we live. And I feel like freedom is such a beautiful intention that we can focus on in our every now moment. And the more that we talk about it, the more that we understand it, the more that we can captivate it within our life. So I'm so excited to really get deep into this topic. I mean, it's definitely one of my core values, and I know it is with you as well, Nat. I'm going to pass it over to you to introduce yourself, Queen.
Thank you. My name's Nat. For those of you who don't know, I'm 29 years young, and yes, freedom is one of my core values. So I am a carer. I care full time for my grandfather. I'm also a spiritual advisor and a women's empowerment coach. And I feel like freedom has only really, I feel like my values always tend to change. And I feel like that happens for a lot of people, but especially freedom. I don't feel like that was ever on my radar. And I genuinely believe it's because I didn't really understand the concept of what freedom was. And as I've gone on throughout life, throughout all the experiences that have happened in the last couple of years, freedom is now probably the main core value that I have, not just because of everything that's going on in the world, because of my situation, because of my experiences. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to dive into this topic today, for sure. So thank you for being here, ladies. Very, very grateful to have you all here. And yeah, for those of you catching the replay, thank you for joining us. Continue the conversation in the comments. We want to hear your voice.
Oh, amazing. Definitely 100% second that, because the more that we speak about this, the more we can share our different perceptions, the more that we can understand a wider view on the true meaning of freedom and what it means to you. So please, anyone catching the replay, carry on in the comments. It makes a difference as well, because your idea might open up the mindset of somebody who might not see it that way as well. I want to definitely start and say, for me, freedom at one point in my life was more important than love, because I actually had to choose my own freedom over what I thought was love. And we had an exercise that we did within the Put You First community when we was on the Put You First challenge, and we had to write down our core values and literally break them down and cross them out and come down to one. And it was really, really difficult. I mean, it really ignited some deep anger and frustration within me at that time, because I felt like, hold on a minute, how can I choose between my family and love and freedom? Like, there's no way that I could choose between that. And then when it comes down to it, I did. And ultimately, my choice, it come down to freedom, because there's been times in my life where I've had to choose me over love, me over my family. And for me, that was freedom. Freedom to me is free will. freedom to me is freedom of expression and being able to be who you are unapologetically and to be able to make your own decisions. And I feel like that is everyone's right. As much as we live in a society where we might be encouraged to do things one way or the other, at the end of the day, we all know that it's not a one size fits all. So having two options out of infinite, for me, sounds quite limited in this human experience. We all know that we're spiritual beings living a human experience. And what might work for you or something that might not have been done, you might have the power to create. And I feel like freedom and free will is such a great way of focusing on your own self-expression and your own creative power and energy to be able to manifest and imagine ways that are unique to you that you can share with life, with humanity. There's things that have been done that people said were impossible, and people have done it and they've led the way for others. So I feel like freedom is such a beautiful way of looking at infinite possibilities and really opening up your imagination. Our imagination is a higher faculty. That is something that we don't know that all species actually have, but we know that we have that. So for me, focusing on freedom literally opens you up to unlimited capacity of what you can do as a human being in existence today. So I want to put it over to you now, because I'm pretty sure you've got some things to share as well. I feel like some of the women are going to have some beautiful things to share tonight. We've got a really shiny, energetic crowd. I'm loving it, my soul sisters. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. I'm feeling the energy already. And like you said, Charlie, I feel like freedom is such a different concept to so many different people. And I do believe that freedom for one person will be completely different to someone else. Shannon, if we asked Bill what his thought of freedom would be, he'd probably say to eat sweets or something all the time, you know, like that's the kids' concept of freedom. For me, I don't even feel like I can pinpoint what one meaning of freedom means to me. And there's been a couple of different experiences where I've recently realised what freedom truly means to me. And one of them was actually a little bit of a hard-hitting lesson. So yesterday, like I said at the beginning of this call, for those of you that don't know me, I am a carer. I cared for my nan when she had terminal cancer. And she passed away, yes, it was 6 years ago yesterday. And yesterday was a really difficult day for me. And I sat down and I really journaled out all of my feelings, and I just allowed myself to get into the flow state and just express whatever I needed to. And one of the things that came up for me was, how do I feel? And I felt really bad in a way when I said free. And the reason why that came up for me was because, in a way, my nan, obviously when she was terminally ill, that took a hell of a lot of my time. It took a hell of a lot of my energy. I was putting her first, which was, of course, very necessary in that moment. But my nan was also an alcoholic. So the majority of my teenage and adult life, I grew up having negative projections quite a lot from her. She obviously was dealing, now I know as an adult, that she was dealing with her own traumas. She had her own demons that she was battling. But I don't ever feel like I was free to be my own person without her projecting her views or her opinions or her negative connotations onto me. And yesterday when I sat there and I looked at the last 6 years of my life, of course I would give anything to have my nan back. But losing her also gave me a sense of freedom. It allowed me to gain my independence. It allowed me to step into who I truly wanted to be without having those projections coming at me on a daily basis. And that for me was actually something that I felt quite bad to express yesterday. I felt guilty for feeling that. But in the same time, I know that my nan would be looking down on me and she'd be so proud of the person that I am today, because I have stepped into my authentic self. Also, freedom for me is freedom of expression. It's about being ourselves without the need to feel judged, without the need to feel like we have to fit into a certain construct that society gives us. It's the freedom to be who we are as creative beings and do what it is our hearts tell us to do. Now, I feel like there's so many different levels to freedom. I feel like some people will say, oh, well, there's financial freedom, you know, there's mental freedom, there's so many different aspects to freedom. There's physical freedom. If someone's got a physical ailment or a disability, they might feel like they haven't got the freedom that many other people do. So the one thing that I do think is important that we need to realise is I do also think that freedom is all in the mind in some ways. I believe that we give freedom meaning, that we decide what freedom truly means to us and to others. And so, yeah, my experience of freedom and me coming into realising that that is one of my core values has been a journey in itself. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm loving it. I'm loving understanding what freedom means to me. Again, Charlie, when you mentioned free will, I completely agree. I do believe that the two of them merge together and they go hand in hand. So, yeah, I'm going to pass it back to you to follow on from that.
Honestly, you've just blown my mind. I mean, firstly, I'm going to touch on emotional freedom. Now, a lot of us experience mental suffering. So we're not actually going through physical suffering. We're not physically incarcerated, but we put ourselves in a mental prison based on our limitations that we feel like we need to have based on society's expectations of us. Now, expectations and standards, I speak about this all the time, they're so different. Expectations are a wish. They're something that you want. Unfortunately, they're completely different to standards. Standards are you setting a standard for yourself as a human being and what you need to feel fully satisfied in your life. They're completely different to expectations. But I feel like a lot of us haven't been able to express our emotions freely within our lifetime. And that has caused a lot of mental suffering and it's caused a lot of disease within our body. And it's actually limited us to be able to express ourselves at the capacity which can give us the freedom to experience life on unimaginable scales that we can't even fathom right now because you haven't done it yet. So for me, emotional freedom is definitely something that we all definitely need to focus on. Even being able to express your emotions freely, whether that be sadness, whether that be excitement, whether that be love, whether that be joy. I know for me, growing up in my environment with my family, when I got to move out and I became independent, I felt free. I felt like I could finally be myself. I felt like I could finally stand on my own 2 feet and I could actually express what I wanted and not feel bad that it wasn't what my family had, because I feel like a lot of us feel greedy for wanting more than what we see around us, and that's so normal within society today, especially as women as well. There's certain things that we might feel like we desire that they don't even need to be big things. They can be small things, even like being in a loyal, committed relationship with one person. There's many women that feel like, what makes me think that I deserve that when everyone around me seems to be in failed marriages? And I feel that it's hard for people today to actually express what they truly want because they are so scared that they're not going to get it, that they don't even want to put it out there anymore. And for me, freedom is about being fearless, about being able to shut that doubt down when it comes up and being able to focus on what you actually want and knowing that you deserve it and not stopping until you get it. Because if we can focus on what we don't want and then attract that into our now moment, then we can also focus on what we do want. And even when the challenges come, even when life happens, because life happens, at the end of the day, you can be the most positive person, the most resilient person. You can know every tool in the self-help book, but life is still going to happen. But that's your chance for you to say, this is what I want, and I'm going to keep moving towards it. And for me, that's freedom. That's freedom of expression. And that's you using your power, your free will to actually focus forward and not settle for any less based on fear, based on doubt. Because I know that at the moment, especially as women, we're going through such a shift within society today. I mean, the divine feminine is 100% rising. I keep saying it, my queens, but we feel it inside. Like men and women, we all have masculine and feminine within us. But it's about finding that balance within. And the feminine, I think it's so beautiful for us to lean into that side of ourselves, because it's all about trust and surrender. And I'm speaking to myself when I'm saying this. I always found it hard to trust people, not just men, but women and my family as well, because life has happened to me. And I feel like now it's harder for people to trust, because you do have this expectation that what's happened is going to happen again. But we need to let go of expectations, and we need to not settle for anything less than the standard that we hold for ourselves, and know that we teach others how to treat us by the way we treat ourselves. And I feel like freedom is such a beautiful way for us to focus on what we're not willing to settle for anymore. Focusing on your will and the power that you have to disown what no longer serves you, to let go of what it is that you actually don't want in your life. Like throughout 2020, I had a massive intention to let go of all attachments. And I live in a beautiful home, but I don't actually own that many possessions. I mean, I used to have so many clothes. I had some at my nan's house. I felt like Wiley. But now I don't have as much, but I'm so fulfilled, and I haven't got that clutter anymore around me. And I know that I'm opening up space for what's meant to be in my life. And it's just so beautiful, because for me, freedom is experience, it's life, it's joy, it's love, it's everything. Because without freedom, have you actually really got anything at all? And that's a question that I asked myself last year. I thought, how can I have love without freedom? Because freedom is love. How can I have friendship without freedom? Even relationships. I don't believe that any relationship should ever be out of attachment or control. I feel like it should be two free people choosing to stand side by side with one another, whether that be if that's a platonic or a romantic relationship. I feel like we are all free, and our freedom can't be taken away from us unless we give it away, or unless you do something really bad and you get incarcerated. That's a completely different situation. But we're not going there. But I mean, truly understanding your values and understanding what freedom means to you allows you to know that you're not going to sacrifice it and you're not going to give it away. So I want to ask you today, write down 3 things what you feel like freedom means to you, and focus on that. And then every situation that happens in your life, if you feel like you're having to sacrifice one of them 3 things, then you know that you're sacrificing your freedom. And no one should ever ask you to sacrifice your freedom, because that's your free will. That is your choice to live your life, do what you want with your body, do what you want with your voice, and do what you want with your life. Because we are here to live, we are here to experience freely and express ourselves how we are meant to. Like your unique perception and characteristics of who you are, you've been created for a reason. So it's beautiful to have the freedom to express that. And I know now, looking back 3 years ago, I wouldn't be doing something like this. I wouldn't even be life coaching. I didn't even know how to hold space for myself, let alone other people. So if I can create that freedom for me after what I've been through, I'm telling you, you can do it. I know you can do it. So just take the belief that I have in you until you can do it as well. But I definitely want to open it up to anyone. If you've got anything that you'd like to share, because this is a really interactive call. We want to hear your voice. So share freely, my queens. Don't all come at once. I love saying that. Even what does freedom mean to you? Or how do you feel when you feel like you're free? That's a big one. What makes you feel free?
I find it now. I've been in so many, not so many relationships. I've been in relationships that have failed, but now I want it. Like if you this thing where there's not that freedom, I'm just like no. I'll just walk away from it. I just don't have any time for it at all. I've been so many times and I've just stuck at relationships and they have been controlling, they've been abusive. And now I'm just like, no, like no one can take your freedom. Literally no one can take your freedom from you. You will be free always. Like, no government can take your freedom. No person can take your freedom. Like you said, unless you are in prison for something you have done wrong, no person in this world can actually take your freedom. It will always be yours. And that's a beautiful thing, I guess. Your freedom will always be yours.
That's beautiful, Shannon. Thank you. And I just want to actually follow on from that, because obviously we was at the Freedom Rally on Saturday. What a beautiful experience. I'm so glad that I got to meet you in the flesh, Shannon. That was a beautiful experience. But we actually took part in a mass meditation after the march. And that in itself was just an absolutely mind-blowing experience. And I had such a huge emotional release after the meditation was completed. And everyone was standing up. We was all just sharing the love and basking in that energy that we'd all just collectively created. And I was sobbing my heart out. And I locked eyes with an older guy in the crowd. And he just looked at me, and we was both sobbing, and we just really made eye contact. And about a couple of minutes later, he came straight over to me and he gave me the biggest cuddle. And he was like, "Is this normal?" He's like, "I see you're crying." And he's like, "I'm normally the most aggressive person in the world. And to feel this rush of emotion, is this normal?" And I was like, "This is completely normal." I was like, the fact that you said that you was an aggressive person, how beautiful that you have been able to transmute that aggression and allowed your emotions to flow in a more beautiful and natural way. And he started talking to me and telling me about his idea of freedom. And he said, like I just said, he was a very aggressive person. The last few protests that he'd been in altercations with the police. Previous to that, he'd been in prison for about 9 years. And he actually said to me that even though he was in prison, no one ever took his freedom away from him, because freedom was in his mind. And although he says, yeah, I was locked up in a room and I couldn't do the things that many other people could do, I still had the freedom to think what I wanted in my mind. I still had the freedom to express myself in the way that I wanted. And I thought that was actually a really beautiful concept, because even as someone who had their physical freedom, I suppose as you'd call it, taken away from them, the fact that he refused to allow anyone to take freedom on all levels away from him was such a beautiful concept for me, because it was something completely different to what I believed or what I've experienced. And I feel like obviously with everything that's going on in the world right now, everyone's got their own controversial opinions, and we are here for all of them. We open this space to listen to every single person's opinion and view on everything that is going on. But for me, seeing so many people come together collectively to stand for their right to be free was just such a beautiful movement in itself. But it really did get me thinking, because we should never wait for freedom to be given to us. Freedom is our right, and it needs to be claimed. I feel like so many people go through life and they're like, oh, well, I'd feel free if I had this amount of money. I'd feel free if I wasn't in this environment. I'd feel free if I didn't do this, or I had that. Or there's always sort of limitations put upon their own freedom. And realistically, freedom is what you make it in this now moment, and it is yours to claim. Like, I sit there and think about, I always turn to this. I feel like a butterfly is now my spirit animal. I've been looking for my spirit animal, and I just keep seeing these signs come up. But it's like, you think about a caterpillar, for example, and it doesn't know it's going to become a butterfly. And in that now moment, the caterpillar probably thought it was free, eating all the fruit on the trees and all the leaves. But then as soon as it grows wings and it's able to fly off into the sunset and move around so graciously, that's a completely new concept of freedom for that animal. And I feel like we have so many different versions of freedom, but we also put so many limitations onto those versions of freedom, that it is so important for us to just claim it in this now moment. Like, for me, even coming away from Instagram for a little while allowed me just to sort of step into my authentic self, because I felt like I had the freedom to, without comparison, without feeling judged, without feeling like I was maybe doing something for an external source rather than internal. And going back now to Instagram, I've never felt more free, because I'm expressing myself the way that I want to. I am being this beautiful, divine, creative being, because I am the one that claims my freedom, and I am the one that defines freedom. And I feel like every single person on this call should do the same. It's so easy for us to say, especially with happiness as well, I will be happy when, or I will be happy if. Remove those words, claim it now, because it is yours. And honestly, you can have it. It is just about claiming it. Another little point that I do want to add on to that is, with everything that's going on in the world right now, you might feel like your freedom's being taken away from you. But going back to the guy that I saw at the freedom protest, his name was Paul. What a beautiful soul. I really hope I connect with him again in this life or the next. But just remember that they can take everything away from you, but they cannot take the freedom that is captured within your mind.
Oh, I love you know what? I have to add on from that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was it Nelson Mandela who was incarcerated? He was in prison, or was it somebody else? And he meditated and he would see himself out of that prison, and he never allowed them to take away his power, his imagination, his free will, his ability to be able to give himself freedom. And he used to see himself with his family out of those walls, and then he got out of those walls. I've actually got a quote that come up, and he says, to be free is not merely to cast one of their chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Now, I think that's so powerful, because the ability to free yourself is the ability to free all. So if you're limiting yourself based on past experiences, or based on doubt, or based on fear, you're actually limiting everyone, because you're saying that you can't, which means that no one can, because we're all the same, we're all equal. So when you actually free somebody else, I know a lot of people as well, even myself included, I used to be one of these people. I used to think, oh, they can do that, but I could never do that. Why not? If they can do that, then you can do that. It's proof that you can do that, because they can do that. They're here to reflect your abilities back to you. It wouldn't be shown to you if it wasn't possible. So every time that you feel that lack, or you feel that doubt, or you feel like maybe somebody else can do something that you can't, instead of saying to yourself, I could never, why don't you ask that person, how can I? Change it, flip it. Remember, questions are so profound when you ask open questions. You actually give people the opportunity to help you. And for me, as a life coach, for me to be able to share tools and tips that I've learned that have helped me, and I can gift those tools to men and women, and then I see them free themselves and use those tools to create what they want, rather that be new love, finding a new job, bringing in more money, creating something, stepping out of their hell zone. For me, that shows me that, wow, it does really, really work. It wasn't just a fluke. It wasn't just luck, as we like to think sometimes. Self-sabotage, self-handicapping, it's a real thing. We all do it, even myself included. That's why I can teach other people to not do it, because I, on a daily basis, have the discipline to focus on my values and look over my limiting beliefs. And I become very aware of the story that I tell myself when things are happening, because if I'm not careful of those stories and I'm not aware of those stories, then those stories can create obstacles in my life, and then they can interrupt my freedom. For me as well, I always say discipline is freedom. If you have discipline in your life to focus on what you need in this now moment, that's freedom, because you're not allowing the outside world to control you. You're taking back your power, and you're aligning yourself to the frequency and vibration and the intention of your freedom, of your happiness, of your peace, of your love, of your joy. They're definitely my values. values you don't just have to have one, you can have as many as you want as well. And I am a big believer in breaking down labels. Like, we've been breaking down labels since the beginning of time. We've even got people now, they don't even associate themselves as a gender. I have no opinions on anything. I have no judgment. I just observe everything that's going on, because I think life is just so beautiful, and give everyone the freedom to express themselves how they want. If they're not hurting anyone or you, then what's the issue at the end of the day? And you need to just remember that what might work for somebody else might not work for you, the same as what might work for you might not work for somebody else. But know as well that what works for somebody else can work for you. It's possible to achieve anything you want. You have freedom. You can only give it away by limiting yourself by the stories that you create around your life. So just start creating better stories. Even if you start hypothesizing, what if this could happen? Think more like a child. Look at your children. I know we've got a lot of mums on this call as well. How would you like them to feel? How would you like them to think? You'd want them to believe that they can achieve anything that they want. You want them to do more than you could do. I know that, because you're incredible women and men who are catching the replay. But we need to remember as well, if we wish something for somebody else, then we must first give it to ourselves for the energy transfer to be warrant for somebody else to receive that information. And for me, I mean, I love facing my fears, because then it shows me another side of life that I'm being able to experience. And for me, that's freedom. Like, anything that you're scared of, that's there to teach you something within reason, definitely within reason. Don't want anyone hurting themselves. But for me, freedom is just such a powerful thing that I feel like we all need to really focus on what it truly means to us, because throughout generations, especially in the UK as well, as much as we are very lucky to live in our society and to live in quite a first world country, also we need to kind of understand that there are certain things that we maybe take for granted as well for our freedom. So just even just ponder on it and think about it and ask yourself the question, what does it mean to me, and how do I feel free? Like, I love to sing, I love to dance. Even though I might not be the greatest dancer in the world and the greatest singer in the world, doesn't mean that I can't do it. It makes me feel good. Do what makes you feel good. That's freedom. Freedom to feel good and express yourself. I actually used to have a really strange feeling whenever I enjoyed myself too much. I felt like I was doing something wrong, because in my family, that's usually what people were doing. When they enjoyed themselves too much, they were usually doing something they shouldn't have been doing. So I absorbed this negative understanding of excitement and fulfillment. And I felt like whenever I was enjoying myself too much, I was going to get in trouble, that I was going to be told off for being too loud or enjoying myself too much. And this actually carried on pretty much to my adult life. This is only something that I actually broke this year, because I've become aware of it. When I was actually at my beautiful Soul Sisters retreat, Bambi, who's on this call today, I actually had a moment where I had to go in the bathroom and speak to myself in the mirror and give myself a pep talk and say, you are allowed to have fun. You are allowed to enjoy your life. Just because you've experienced trauma, just because somebody's maybe told you off for being too loud once, or maybe you've said something, or whatever it is that's happened, you enjoy to have fun. It is okay. I allow you to now. And I hugged myself, and it was a proper moment as well. It was a beautiful retreat. I'm so excited for the next one as well. In a couple of weeks, going from the 16th to the 18th. I mean, it's like a retreat for healers. I truly felt healed. And it was so beautiful to be in such a intimate space with people, but be able to be by myself with them at the same time. And yeah, for me, that was a big moment. And we had a sharing circle at the end of the retreat, and we all went round with the talking stick, and I burst out crying. And I don't even remember what I said, but in my mind I could see myself going into the earth and unplugging that seed of feeling like I weren't good enough, feeling like I was unlovable, feeling like I was unworthy. And I planted back the seed of love, peace and joy. And I felt like everyone was holding me while I did that. And I want you all to understand that these stories, these limitations, they're they've actually served you. There's probably been something that's happened to you that has encouraged you to adopt this belief, but you don't need it anymore. So now if we become aware of them, don't fear them, free them, and plant the seed of freedom. Please, my soul sisters. I'm definitely going to open it up because I feel like my queens, I want you to express, what does freedom mean to you? Please share with us. It means so much to hear your perceptions. Oh, go on, my girl, baby.
Hello, beautiful people. I just wanted to add something. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends, a lot of close friends. I was, it was really awkward for me at school. And I found, like, over the last, 5-6 years, having my spiritual awakening, that I have absolute freedom to express myself with the people that are around me. Like, I can literally just be myself, like, however I come. If I'm literally on the floor crying, if I'm laughing, if I'm being stupid, if I'm dancing like a weirdo, however I show up is okay in my circle of friends. And, like, I hear a lot of people say, oh, keep your circle small. I swear to God, like, every week I am meeting a new person who feels like I've known them a lifetime, like, my circle is wide and huge, and I feel so blessed that I can have that freedom to be myself around all of those people, and it's beautiful to see, like, and to hear, like, you just saying that happened for you at the retreat. That's so special to me. It makes me feel a bit emotional. Like, it was beautiful, and I saw that, and I literally saw that unfolding for you in that moment, and it was such a beautiful moment. But yeah, I think freedom to be myself around my people. Wow. I feel like when I was a teenager or in my 20s, I was so judged, and I was also in a very controlling marriage, very violent. Like, literally, I had to check in with everything I do. I wasn't allowed out. I was checked, everything. My phone was checked. Everything was locked down for those 5 years that I was with him. And, it was a glorious moment when I was in Paris by myself, where I just went, no more, I'm not doing this. I'm 35 years old. I can't do this anymore. And it was literally like a download from the sky that came to me, which made me, like, break through from this, and God, like, my life a year ago, I couldn't have thought my life would get any better. And then it's just, like, blows my mind, it blows my mind. Like, I feel like a lot of the world now feel that they haven't got their freedom. It's all being taken away from us. My life has carried on. Like, the only thing I missed out was the gym and going to clubs, basically. Other than that, like, like you're saying, the freedom is inside you. It's always inside of you. Like, it's always in your mind. We what's the word? We have complete autonomy. We are sovereign beings. And I think it's a really beautiful topic. Yeah, it's really given me some food for thought. But yeah, freedom to be myself around my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. And we get to share it all in my retreat again soon. And Silvana's coming as well. Yay!
So excited, honestly.
Yes.
Everyone, go and follow my girl Bambi. She is one of the most beautiful women I've ever met in my life. I'm so blessed and grateful
Love you.
that you had the freedom to express yourself.
But it was everybody else, Like I said, the retreat for me was, wow, like, the easiest thing I've ever had to do, because I had the most beautiful people around me, and so much support, and so much, you wouldn't have thought that the people that I'd held the retreat space at, that I'd literally met them a few weeks before. Like, what? It's so insane. They're like my family. Like, yeah, having support and just freedom to be myself and show up however I am is beautiful.
Oh, do you know what? I'm so grateful because you've actually just helped me understand something. And one thing we need to really evaluate, if we're feeling stuck, if we're feeling limited, maybe you need to evaluate your environment.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to evaluate the people that you're surrounding yourself
Yeah.
with. As much as you might have known these people for many years, they might even be your family. They might be very, very close friends. They might even be the people that you're in a relationship with. But if you feel stuck and you can't be yourself and who you deserve to be in this now moment, that might not be who you was a year ago. It's okay for you to shift and change. That's being free. And if people aren't okay with that, you might need to step sideways out of alignment with these beings for this now moment for you to be able to be you. And I'm saying that from experience. 3 years ago, I left the love of my life at that time, and I never thought I'd heal from that situation. Now I'm so blessed and grateful that it didn't actually work out, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. And I never believed I would ever say that. Like, I never believed in a million years that I would say that. And now looking back, I'm like, wow, I was willing to sacrifice a life that I didn't even know how to dream of, because I'd never even seen anything like it. I wouldn't even have met you, Bambi. Many of you women, Shannon, Silvana, I haven't met you, Tracy, yet, but I feel like it's coming real soon, my queen. But I feel like it's so beautiful for us to look at. Maybe letting go is accepting freedom. So when you feel like maybe you have fear of letting go of certain things that have been around for a while, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I'm telling you now, it's definitely going to be worth it. Because you're going to find yourself. You're going to find what is meant for you. And you're going to stop holding on to stuff that was never meant to be there in the first place. So allow yourself to have the free flow of energy through your life, and trust in this now moment that whatever you need, Source doesn't make any mistakes. He wouldn't create as many of us if he or she couldn't provide for us at our highest excitement and highest fulfillment. So remember that when you feel like you're doubting yourself and maybe you're sacrificing the great for the good, don't do that no more. Be a little bit more patient with yourself. Breathe. Use some breathing techniques. We've got many. Have a cold shower. Wash it off. See everything cleansing. Face your fears, because I'm telling you, inside, yes, it is freedom. And for me, you've just helped me so much, because even being able to open your mind to the concept of freedom, if you don't even know what it is right now, that's allowing you to build a better, stronger relationship with yourself that you might not have even tapped into yet. Nat, you're glowing right now.
I had to, my iPad died, and I was like, where have they gone? So now you're on my phone and you're beep, but I can still see all of you. But yeah, thank you. I feel like I'm glowing because I genuinely feel like I have reclaimed my freedom on this call. Just listening to every single one of you, even if you haven't spoke, just you sharing your energy on here has just reminded me of how free we are as individuals. And I watched a video a few weeks back, actually. I think it was Sadhguru, and someone said to him that it was along the lines of what happens when you feel lost, like when you sort of lose your connectivity or you feel like you haven't got any direction. And he said, well, that's the ultimate freedom, when you've got no attachments to anything, when you are completely disconnected from the outside world. And that is where you reclaim your freedom. And that was actually a big aha moment for me, because I was like, wow, we are the ones that really define what freedom is. And I know that for me, freedom comes in so many different shapes and sizes, and freedom has been defined in so many different ways through the experiences that I have experienced throughout my whole entire life. Charley, I can resonate with you so much. And of course you, Bambi, when you say that you was in such a toxic relationship, like for me, I genuinely never thought that I was gonna get over my 10-year relationship that I had with the love of my life. He was the love of my life. And now when I look back, I realise that actually he was just there for a lesson, and I wouldn't be the person that I was today speaking to you ladies and being able to describe what freedom is because I never felt like I had freedom. Even growing up, I felt like I always tried to be someone that I wasn't. I never understood the freedom to express myself the way that I wanted to. I always thought that I had to be a certain way because of what society said, because of what my family said, because of what my friends say. And I feel like a lot of us are still stuck in that situation, and they still have experiences. But if we teach you one thing today, or we give you one thing to go away with, I hope it is just that you define what freedom is for you, because honestly, freedom comes in so many different shapes and sizes, as we do. And I'll leave you with another thing, actually, because this was actually a really interesting concept that I learned about. And it was about how, like you said at the beginning of this call, Charlie, of course, we are all spiritual beings and we are all living a human experience. And what I realized is that when you say that we are free, realistically, as souls that we are, reincarnated into this physical flesh suit, we are constantly told when to eat, when to sleep, when to go to the toilet, when to wake up. So really, as a soul, we aren't actually free in this physical reality. So if anything, I feel like that means even more that you should define what freedom means to you in whatever other aspect that it can be. Because in a way, we are all prisoners in this life. And so in whatever which way you can claim your freedom, claim it, because it is yours. I'm just so grateful for this conversation, guys. Honestly, I feel like I'm glowing. I really do. Thank you for sharing this space. Thank you for sharing your words. Thank you for sharing what freedom means to you, because honestly, it shifts our perspective, doesn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, massively, massively, because obviously we have our perspective. I truly believe that every unique soul has its own blueprint, has its own essence, energy. Everyone has a unique voice as well. No one else has your voice. So don't ever be afraid to share that, because that's your unique expression. That's your vibration. That's your energy. And for me, I feel like our perceptions, they're meant to be different. We're not meant to be the same. We're not meant to want the same things. We're not meant to. At the end of the day, imagine how boring it would be if we all like the same stuff. Like, I love chocolate ice cream and I can't stand strawberry ice cream, but I know there's a lot of people that love strawberry ice cream, and I'm glad because I like chocolate. But it's as simple as that, or you can look at it on a grand scheme of things. And this is why, even in my abundance program, I teach people the true meaning of abundance to them, because everyone's idea of abundance is completely different. You need to find out what it means to you, for you to focus on that, for you to attract that into your life with your energy, not just with your money, but with your thoughts, with your intention. I would actually love to pull a card. I feel really cool to pull a card. Should we pull a card? I mean, I was looking at them and I was like, I feel like we need some guidance. Wow.
I love it.
I mean,
I love this.
It has been a jam-packed day for me. Obviously, the interview on Flex FM, I've been up since 5, and I have been deep in the flow of creating all of the new content for my abundance program, which does start on the 6th of July. I do have space available for any women that want to join me on this journey. I'm so excited. But yeah, it's been a heavy one, and I'm telling myself I have unlimited energy. But even before this Wake Up Wednesdays, I was a little bit fatigued. I've done a meditation. I feel charged now. Like, I can go for an all-nighter. Here we go. This one just jumped right out of the deck. So we have got the full moon in Taurus. And this is all about foundation. And it's saying your dreams need a practical plan. Now, when it means practical plan, how beautiful that we've just asked you to define your true meaning of freedom. That's you putting things into practicality. That's you actually putting a plan in place and saying, this is what freedom means to me. And this card has just jumped out. This is all about your foundation. This is all about you actually focusing on what's right for you. And the full moon is about illuminating your goals, your desires, and your manifestations and what you want in the physical, not the subconscious. So this is about you actually taking action in the physical realm right now. Oh wow, I'm so excited. I mean, I'm gonna look into this a little bit more, but Taurus as well is one of the favorite signs that the moon's in. Cancer and Taurus, the moon absolutely adores being in Taurus. Taurus is actually very loving energy. It's very grounded, very stable as well. If you've been feeling a little bit up in the air and you don't really know what's going on, this is telling you that a lot of stability is coming your way. So use this grounding time to put a practical plan into place. If you're feeling heavy as well, I feel like this is coming through. If you've been feeling quite heavy and that you've had a bit of the weight of the world on your shoulders, this is the time for you to just take a breather. Trust as well in the divine feminine that if you put a practical plan into place, then it's all going to come to you because you're putting the action, you're focusing on the intention, you're manifesting your goals. This isn't about going after what you want. This is about you focusing on it and being grounded and trusting that it's going to come to you as well. Number 70, is that resonating with anyone? So we've got your dreams need a practical plan. Sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic, and sometimes you need to be practical, and sometimes you need to find a combination of the two. So this card suggests that this is where you are right now. You need to use the laws of attraction to draw in whatever you want by imagining it, expecting it, and welcoming it. But you need to balance that with taking down to earth steps towards your goals. So not living up in the clouds, like being quite practical about it. It says this isn't about wishing on the moon and hoping for the best. It's about making something like a list of bullet points about how to achieve your dreams. If you're asking about money, this card heralds a change of financial fortunes depending on both your past actions and what you're expecting and therefore attracting. So if you're basing your financial status or anything that's happened on your past experience, that's based on past and previous thoughts. You're here and now right now. You've got the opportunity and the freedom to change that story and expect better things to come to you. The attunement for the moon to this card is asking you to write down 10 things that you know are wonderful about you. And I'm telling you, if you can write down one, you'll find two, you'll find three, and the rest will keep flowing. And if you don't know, come to us and we'll tell you probably about 11 that we think are wonderful about you. So use your community as well. It's quite nice to actually reach out to a couple of your really close friends and ask them, what do you love about me? Don't be afraid to ask people that as well. That's such a beautiful question. I'd encourage a lot of people to do that. It's saying to you, laziness could explain your current situation. If so, change that and own it. Chasing money doesn't work. You need to chase a dream. So focus on what it is that you actually want. What is that money going to bring in for you? It's not the money that you want. It's the opportunities and the freedom that you get to experience with that money that you want. So focus on that. Wow, I'm talking to myself as well when I'm saying all of this. Jealousy or envy create negative energy and attract negativity. Remember, if somebody else can do it, that means you can too. So rather than looking at them and thinking, oh, they've got something that I want, or oh, they look better than me, or they're more confident than me. No, they are everything that you are, and you are everything that they are. Envy and jealousy have no purpose in our now moment, so let go of it. It's asking you to exercise more as well. Exercise is a really great way of letting go of the chemical cortisol. Cortisol is also connected to adrenaline, which also makes us experience fear. So if you've been having a lot of doubt, go for a run, jump on a skipping rope, and just move your body. Move your body, dance, dance. Put your favorite tunes on, shake it all off. Like seriously, like let it go. So the full moon in Taurus is a time to get back down to earth and to get grounded, to work through any negative feelings you've been dealing with, and to find balance between being passionate and being overly intense. Taurus is very intense as well. So if you've been in a lot of intense emotions, this is definitely making a lot of sense with this card. Money issues may come to a head at the time of the full moon in Taurus, but you can take this card as a sign to pay more attention to your cash flow no matter when you draw it. So if you've been having money problems, stop worrying about it. Worrying is praying for what you do not want, yeah? Money's coming to all of us. I feel like money's coming, prosperity. Let's see what is at. The next card was luck is on your side. the new moon in Sag as well. That's all about inside. This is all about you focusing on planting the seeds within your subconscious mind. When the moon is a new moon, you might not be able to see it. You can't see your subconscious self, but your subconscious self creates this reality. So know that luck's on your side. Everything that you want is coming, my queens. And just focus on what it is that you want. Focus on what freedom means to you. If you focus on what you don't want, you're going to bring more of it, because you're saying to the universe, this is important. This is what I want to manifest, because the universe doesn't know the difference between negative and positive. We give things meaning. We give freedom meaning. So ask yourself, what is the meaning of freedom to me, and focus on that right now, because I've got a really powerful feeling that a shift is going to happen, my queens. Oh, wow. I mean, love, big love, my soul sisters. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone catching the replay on the YouTube. We love you. Wake Up Wednesdays has made such a difference in our lives, and it helps us so much as it does you as well. So please get involved in the comments. Let us know your thoughts and feelings. It's all welcome here. And yeah, come back every Wednesday, 8 p.m. with myself, Charley Grech, and my soul sister, Nat Maynard, and my former full moon goddess. I love you.
I love you so much, honestly, what she said. We love you. Thank you for being here. Come and join us every single Wednesday. We choose a different topic every week, and we just love your perspective and your viewpoints. So yeah, join us again. Thank you for being here.
And remember to keep growing, keep going, and keep glowing.
We love you, Queen. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.